Let's start with this one. So Japanalysis guy tries to be Japanese Trump, ends up in prison. And I recognize him. I think this is the same guy that was like, destroy the NHK or whatever. We reacted to that video once. He was really like against the NHK because they like collect fee or something in Japan. But then he became crazy and started doing like a lot more nonsensical shit, you know? I think he was running for like governor of Tokyo or something. And it was madness. And I think that's what the story ended last time. Let's continue.
Japan's dumbest politician and self-declared Japanese Trump, Tachibana Takashi, has had an unbelievably terrible year because he cannot stop
But it says Make America Great Again, not Japan.
screwing up. He launched a fake political campaign that turned into a real harassment campaign, which got so vile and chaotic it directly resulted in someone's death. That apparently was not enough,
What?
so he doubled down and went full racist mode, pissing off so many people that someone tried to redact him from existence. Now there's a full-blown civil war in his party, and not only is he completely broke after wasting all his money on frivolous elections, but he's been arrested after
How is he still doing anything after like the last video, right? Like he already seemed like such a joke after like his attempt to run for like the mayor of Tokyo, I think. How was he able to do any of this after a while?
attempting to flee to Dubai. Tachibana's trouble started with the governor of Hyogo Prefecture, Saito Motohiko, who was previously famous for looking like the human embodiment of C-3PO.
Okay.
In March 2024, Saito got in big trouble when a whistleblower accused him of bullying his staff and being an overall crappy boss, including an incident where Saito screamed at his driver for making him walk 20 meters. Saito immediately tasked his 6 best guys with tracking down who this whistleblower was. Yeah, that's exactly what someone who wasn't bullying their staff would do. Saito's team quickly narrowed in on 3 government employees, and the prime suspect was this guy, Watase, who they interview and initially actually cross off the list. Unfortunately, immediately after the interview, Watase makes a phone call to suspect B and inadvertently reveals that he was the whistleblower. Suspect B had answered the call on speakerphone with the investigators in the room.
Bruv.
Watase was 60 and due to retire in 2 weeks, but Governor Saito immediately cancels his retirement and holds a press conference calling him out and saying his document is all lies, a complete fabrication, slanderous. Over the next few months, Saito pulls the self-investigation.
Yeah, but what's your evidence? You basically found the guy who told the fact, and what's your counter evidence? You're just saying, like, this guy is fake.
Move and clears himself of all charges. He then punishes Watase with a 3-month suspension. Unfortunately, soon after this, Watase is found in his room with a note saying, "This is a protest against Saito." Look, I know it's disrespectful to brush over this, but it's an unfortunate consequence of YouTube's rules. So how does all of this relate
YouTube is so trash these days.
to Tachibana? Well, everyone correctly pointed the finger at Saito for Watase's death. The Hyogo Assembly quickly got together and unanimously voted him out of office. However, Saito pulled a pretty clever trick. Rather than resigning in shame, he purposefully served out the rest of his term. By doing so, the winner of the next election would get a full 4-year term rather than just finishing his term. Saito was gonna run again, and he wanted the full reset.
Who cares that someone
that
killed
doesn't seem
himself
like it
because of
matters,
him?
right? How is a guy who was just removed from office unanimously and currently under investigation gonna win an election anyways?
I mean, you know, all of this is crazy, but look at fucking Trump, is all I have to say, right? I mean, all the madness they did and he still won 2 times. You know, nothing surprised me anymore, I guess.
Well, that's where Tachibana comes in. Tachibana was the leader of the NHK party, a small, single-issue party devoted to destroying the NHK, Japan's public broadcaster. But more than that, he was just known for being a massive political troll. Tachibana announced that he was entering the race, but not to become governor, just to support Saito. He openly stated he was running a fake spoiler campaign just to attack the other candidates and the people investigating Saito. But if he didn't
How
want
is
to get
that gonna help?
votes, why did he even need to enter the election at all? Like, he could have just done this from home, right? Well, the answer is because all candidates in this election get guaranteed
This
airtime,
again.
and he was going to use all his airtime to attack Saito's opponents.
Man, in the other video where they explained this, that like Japan's like election have this system of like, you know, everybody gets the exact same amount of airtime and poster board and stuff like that, right? Like this kind of fairness of how much you are viewed per se. It seems good on paper, but clearly like it's also clearly kind of a problem when there's people like him, like trolls and stuff like that. So.
燃やしてこい燃やしてこい大きな音で失礼しました
Like, here's his campaign poster. It doesn't even have his picture on it, and it even says, "Do not vote for Tachibana Takashi."
Okay.
So to attack Saito's opponents, Tachibana started creating alternative facts on his YouTube channel. The people investigating Saito were all corrupt, and they were doing it to cover up their own crimes. The
Yes, that's
mainstream
true.
media is fake news, and they had made up all the accusations because they didn't like Saito. It didn't matter that Saito had already confirmed parts of the report. All the evidence is fake. It's all fake news. This is the kind of stuff he was putting out for his campaign.
全知事からは私は目で合図をいただきました立花さんよろしく彼とは話をしたことがありませんでも目と目で合図ができました
What is this, a Chuck Tingle novel? To be
I feel
honest,
bad for the translator, like this poor woman. I mean, at least she's getting paid to translate this bullshit.
might as well have been, because Tachibana starts going off on Watase, the whistleblower, and saying he died not because of Saito's abuse, but because he was having a bunch of affairs and essaying his staff.
こんなことがばらされたくないから県民局長はだと考えるのが普通ですよ
I really need to emphasize that this is not true, and Tachibana made up this entire story based on a leaked recording of a Saito staff member saying,
Hello, sir. How you doing?
Tachibana made up all that stuff based on a 3-second leaked recording from Saito's right-hand man. And Tachibana goes even harder on the investigators on Saito's case. He kicks up an absolutely vicious harassment campaign against them, putting out nearly daily videos claiming that the investigators were all corrupt and how they were going to get arrested any day now. He actually goes as far as leaking lead investigator arrested.
Damn, looking at the like to dislike ratio, his bullshit is actually pretty popular, right? I mean, 5,000 to 600 dislike. At the same time, obviously, this guy has been a grifter for so long. I assume the only people watching him are mostly like, you know, like people who already like his message, you know, so I guess that's why the like to dislike ratio is like this. But man.
Any day now. He actually goes as far as leaking lead investigator Okutani's address in the thumbnail of one of his videos. He truly did not give a f. At one point, Tachibana even shows up at Okutani's house with a mob behind him, rings Okutani's doorbell, and screams at his family over a microphone pointed at his house for over an hour. And Tachibana only leaves after saying this.
Is he not arrested for any of this already at this point, you know what I mean? Like, isn't Japan very like extreme on crime and there's like 99% conviction rate? How is this guy like being able to do all this? Like, is this not harassment? Is leaking the address in a YouTube thumbnail not like some kind of doxing? Is there no law for that?
でも福谷さんがね、されても困るので、これぐらいにしておきますけども、まあ。
To Tachibana's credit, he was incredibly effective at slandering Saito's opponents and attacking the reputation of the investigators. He flooded the internet with pro-Saito content and made 66 videos promoting Saito in 17 days. That's like almost 4 videos a day.
I mean, if he's just sitting there yapping about it, okay, but still, that's insane.
And in the end, all of this actually worked because against all odds, Saito managed to win the election.
How the fuck? He got someone to kill himself and he still wins.
To Tachibana, this was just proof that he was right. So why stop now? He kept putting out videos claiming that any day now, the police were about to arrest Saito's opponents. At this point, one of the investigators, Takeuchi, had enough. He'd been attacked left and right for months, and Tachibana was threatening to bring a mob to his house next. This led to Takeuchi's wife going hysterical, begging him to quit the investigation. So he did. He resigned on November 18th, 2024. Tachibana took this opportunity to take a victory lap, saying any day now, the criminal mastermind who ruined Saito's reputation, Takeuchi, was about to be arrested. Tachibana was even trying to track him down in public.
Politics is really trash everywhere in the world. Huh? I mean, seriously. It's really fucked everywhere. Huh?
竹内見かけたとか、ツイッターとかでバーって書いてください。僕すぐ追いかけに来ますから。
In the end, all of this pressure was too much for Takeuchi.
Don't
Just a
tell
few
me.
months ago, he was a random government employee
also
nobody
killed
had heard
himself.
of, and now some large minority of the country thought that he was the evil kingpin of a massive conspiracy. On January 18th, Takeuchi as well was found
Are
in
you
his
fucking
room.
serious?
It may be hard to believe,
That is too. I mean, it's suicide, but it's like it's a murder in a sense. Like they pushed the guy to do this. I don't know. Is that like a term for it?
but this was not enough to satisfy Tachibana. He continued bullying Takeuchi.
竹内中傷してましたよ。はい。そもそも政治家が中傷されたぐらいで、ボケ。
And went as far as claiming Takeuchi died because he was about to be arrested.
元県会議員、どうも明日逮捕される予定だったそうです。
This led to something super unprecedented happening. The Hyogo Prefectural Police Chief came out with a public statement that they were not and had never been investigating Takeuchi for any crime.
明白な虚偽が SNS で拡散されていることにつきましては極めて遺憾であるというふうに受け止めております。
Yeah.
Normally, Japanese police never come out with statements like this. But normally, people don't run fake spoiler campaigns just to harass public employees. So yeah, Tachibana got a little bit owned by the police coming out and saying everything he said was complete bullshit. But he didn't actually suffer any consequences for what he did.
I don't understand. I don't understand that. It's like again, has he not done enough yet to face any kind of repercussion, right? Absolutely insane. And again, I'm saying that what again, you know, you see stuff like everything Trump has been doing, but I still don't understand how, you know, all this can just happen like that.
At least, not yet. In fact, Tachibana seemed quite proud of getting Saito re-elected. So proud that he began dressing up like a minion and calling himself the Japanese Trump. So naturally, he starts going on long racist rants about immigrants.
6年前は NHK の集金人が怖かったんです。でも最近は外国人が怖いんですよ。白人でアメリカ人とかヨーロッパの白人だとそんなに恐怖は感じないんですけど、やはり黒人とかイスラム系の人を見るとね、これは差別と言われるかもしれませんが、そういう人たちが集団で
Is he not aware that, you know, African American are a thing? Does it count in his racist mind?
駅前とかでいるとね、怖いです。僕でも無理ですよ。
And if you think I'm being unfair to him, here are the man's own words.
黒人やイスラム教の人たち、イスラム系の人たちがいっぱいいると怖いと差別発言したって。いやまあ差別やろうけど言わなあかんでしょ。怖いもん。これからも僕はそういう人種差別はします。怖いから。
I should point out here that these black and Islamic immigrants Tachibana is so afraid of are a
But what
very
we say.
small minority in Japan. Like,
Right.
the main group everyone hates on are the Kurds, and there are only 3,000 of them in
Kurds?
all of Japan, most living in a single district in Kawaguchi across the country. So
But it doesn't matter, right? I'm sure this guy isn't even like, he is racist, but not because he really believes in it, right? I mean, this guy is just an opportunist, right? I mean, so like, whatever he needs to be in a moment to get what he's trying to get, he's just gonna be it, right? And, you know, it's been like that throughout the story, right? Like, politician and all that using fear of minorities and racism, it's like less because they really care. It's more because, you know, it's a good thing to complain on, right? Like, they are the enemy, they are the bad guys, vote for me, you know, it's like fear-mongering so people are scared, and then saying that you're the one that's going to take care of it gets you elected, gets you like rewards. It's such stupid, simple human psychology, and yet it still works. I mean, it still fucking works, right? I mean, look at the US, obviously, you know, he's saying like, make America great again with his that, and there's the stuff with ICE and all that. It's so stupid. Yeah. Like, especially in Japan, right, as they mentioned, there's like just a few thousand here and there, right, at most, because they have like very strict immigration law, I believe, like extremely strict. I mean, it's not like there's like hundreds of thousands of immigrants or something. I think there's probably like, 50,000 max or something. So yeah, I don't really know. Et also, ça va bien, merci. Est-ce que toi ça va? I don't know if you understand French.
Tachibana probably hasn't actually had any of these encounters with immigrants he's describing. He's just copying Trump. But what really gave a boost to Tachibana being the Japanese Trump was something that happened on March 14th. Tachibana was shaking hands at a speech event on the streets of Tokyo when a man waiting in line suddenly threw a flashbang at him like he was Naruto.
A flashbang?
The flashbang was completely ineffective, but the guy then attacked Tachibana with a 30-centimeter blade he had hidden in his jacket. Tachibana's ear was badly injured, and the culprit was subdued by an audience member. Tachibana actually finished giving his speech while waiting for the ambulance.
Je suis très bien. Super. Content de l'entendre.
The attacker was a 30-year-old man named Miyanishi Shion, who described his motive as being generally unhappy with society and politics, but being especially pissed at Tachibana for his role in Takeuchi's death. Of course, he was charged with attempted murder. Tachibana, on the other hand, was very proud of his injury because it made him just like his
I was about to say, the fucking irony of that.
favorite politician.
The worst people just get so much fucking luck.
やっぱり僕は日本のトランプであるという自覚があります。すごく気が合うと思います。僕まだ話したことないですけど、彼は右耳打たれましたね。僕左耳切られたんですよ。
There are, however, some big differences between Tachibana and Trump. The first is, Tachibana is a huge loser, and
What's the difference? Tell me again. I guess you can say Trump is not a loser because he literally just keeps winning and getting away with what he wants to do, right?
by that I mean he loses basically every single election he enters.
Okay.
After running in the Hyogo election, he ran in the Izumi-Otsu election, his hometown, and lost. The Chiba governor election and the Miki City election, he lost both. And then in July, he ran in the upper house election, which, surprise, surprise, he
So he's really good at promoting others, but not himself.
lost badly. You're probably wondering, how does Tachibana even have the money to run in this many elections? Good question, and the answer is he doesn't. The second difference between Tachibana and Trump is that Tachibana is completely broke because he can't stop losing. Seriously, could you imagine being this guy's financial advisor? Like, dude, I'm so bankrupt I can't stop entering elections. This whole time, Tachibana was reportedly working part-time at his friend's bar in Osaka just to cover his living expenses. But elections are not the only thing he's been losing. Tachibana also owes millions of yen as a result of defamation lawsuits. Yeah, as Tachibana learned, lying about people is in fact illegal in Japan, which led to him losing 3 defamation cases in the last 6 months. And he didn't stop there. Tachibana was also being investigated for an incident where he told his supporters to citizens arrest a heckler at one of his rallies. Surprise,
Does Japan
surprise.
even have like citizen arrest? Is that a thing?
Guys, pulling a mods arrest that guy in real life is definitely a crime, especially when your mods severely sprain the guy's neck. This is also probably a good time to mention that Tachibana has been on probation this whole time. In 2022,
And yet, despite all of this bullshit, he still is able to run an election?
he threatened to dox a bunch of random people if Japan's public broadcaster NHK didn't meet with him immediately. I covered that story in my previous video and it's too insane to get into here, but yeah, this guy was extorting Japanese PBS, so he got 2.5 years probation. But despite committing crimes on a daily basis, Tachibana was strangely very confident that he wouldn't get into any trouble.
So far he's more or less getting away with it. He's getting fines and lawsuits, but, his ass is not in jail or anything.
もう99%ありません。私はちゃんと法を熟読し、理解をし、そして、証拠をもとにですね、法と証拠をもとに照らしてやっています。
I don't know if he was just coping or not, but Tachibana started taking an interest in Dubai during this period where apparently he was
What happened to eating foreigners, you know? I mean, obviously that was just a front, right?
discussing some $1 trillion deals.
1億2億とかっていう話じゃないんでこっちの世界は昨日もね、どんな話かは言えません
Do you watch Japanese political news on a daily basis? No. No. I don't really watch any political news on a daily basis. Like, I see political news from like videos at random and sometimes Reddit, but I don't really keep up with any politics. I mean, I barely know the politics of my own country.
が何百兆とかいう形の兆ですよ何百兆100兆とかいう単位の話です
Yeah, it must be a complete coincidence that Dubai has no extradition to Japan. Starting to randomly take trips to Dubai was a big red flag and was the last straw for the Hyogo Prefectural Police. On November 9th, they deemed...
But he must have more hidden money because how is he running the campaigns? How is he going to Dubai with like just working at a bar or whatever? There must be a lot more money coming in.
Tachibana a flight risk and arrested him for criminal libel for his involvement in the death of Takeuchi. Yeah, it turns out Japan is one of the few countries where libel is a criminal offense. 2 weeks later, they added another charge for causing injury during an arrest for the citizen's arrest thing. And it only took a few days of Tachibana being in prison for the NHK party to completely implode. Like Tachibana's right-hand man, the vice president of his party, Saito Kenichiro, the guy who holds their seat in the house, immediately left the party. That's a pretty big blow. There's a good chance the NHK party could be done for good. The most confusing thing to me about all of this is, what was Tachibana's goal in the first place? At the start, some rich guy paid for Tachibana to enter that Hyogo election to help Saito. But Saito never publicly gave Tachibana any kind of compensation for...
Yeah, not publicly, but there's no way he didn't pay him behind the scene, right? I want you to be the next Hyogo governor. Well, I don't think I know enough about Hyogo. Like, what is the financial situation of Hyogo and, you know, and all that. I probably don't know enough. I need to watch an anime about Hyogo.
His help. I mean, not that he could without associating himself with everything that Tachibana stood for. And it turns out that in the end, Tachibana and the NHK party are like $5 million in debt, which actually might have been his strategy all along.
借金は返さなくていいんです日本以外の国は罰則あるとかあるんですよ法律をしっかりと正しく理解すれば借りた金は返さなくていい
What does that mean? Like, he's gonna just declare bankruptcy? Is that what he means? Or is it a different system in Japan?
This is not financial advice, okay? Do not follow what he's saying. But yeah, since Tachibana's always admitting to his schemes on YouTube, I don't think the prosecution will have to look hard to gather evidence for his crimes. And given that Japan has a 99% conviction rate in the first place, dude is probably going to prison. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Shout out to all my patrons.
At this point, I don't know if I believe it. I mean, for all the stuff he's done and only now he's facing consequences. You know, I don't know. Alright, well, that was sad. 2 people killed themselves and I don't even know if he's gonna get like any consequences for those incidents, you know? Maybe. Very interesting video though, as always. Just goes to show that politics is just brain dead in every country. I mean, you know, I think a lot of us, you know, laugh at the US, right? Because right now with Trump, it's like the biggest shit show, right? And most of us know that in our own country, it's also a shit show, but not as big. But really, it's like everywhere, right? It's like, I don't know if there's any country where like the politics are not that bad, you know? Maybe one of these like mini country, right? Like the small island countries that only have like a couple thousand people or something. Like maybe a place like this isn't that bad, you know? I don't know. Is Malta politics good? Maybe Malta is fine, right? Hello Neil, how are you doing?